Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special NCAA Tournament edition of Proline. Jim Feist is here. John Creighton is here. I'm Dave Koken. We're glad to have you guys with us. Hope you're enjoying the tournament so far. Going to be looking at some of the big matchups in the Sweet 16 in this edition of Proline. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about what's going on in terms of the selections. Jim Feist, boy, not bad, huh? 19-7-1 run in college basketball. It's the right time of year to do something like that, isn't it?
Sometimes you have a good season, you come down to the end, you just can't get it done at the postseason. And it's been a good season all in. You get to the postseason, it's even better. I mean, it's 19-7-1 in college hoops, wonderful money-making week, 12-4 weekend with all plays, 2-1 with college inner circles, 25-15 inner circles, 6-0 with the college basketball game of the year. Go on and on and on and on. I mean, Virginia was the big play. They win 78-60 over Memphis. That was over before it started. Got the Sweet 16 game of the year going this weekend. It's $100 online. Just like the other 6 games it's already won, you can get this for $25 with a guarantee. You will win, or the college and NBA season up through April 7th is absolutely free if you don't win this game. Get the Inner Circle winners with me. Call 1-866-841-1655, and of course you can buy it online for $100. That's $25. You call along with the guarantee 1-866-841-1655, or buy it right here online for $100.
John, bring us up to speed with what's happening with Mr. Vegas. I know you got a 5-play countdown coming up.
That's right. One of his exclusive plays is called a Wise Guys play. He's got his Wise Guys Game of the Year in college hoops. That's going Friday. That play alone is $50 online. However, you can get that 5-play countdown, 5 games going Friday, including that Wise Guys Game of the Year. All 5 for $15 from Mr. Vegas. Just call 1-866-896-1627.
I don't do brackets. I did the one for Buffett's $1 billion, and I got knocked out in the very first game. Because it's straight up. I took Ohio State against Dayton. I mean, straight up. I didn't play the game on the spread. In fact, I like Dayton plus the points, but straight up, I'm taking Ohio State. So I was 0-1 immediately, and I did not win the $1 billion from Warren Buffett. I really don't care about brackets, but I do look at them because I'm hoping for certain matchups, obviously. Well, I got the one matchup I really wanted, and it goes on Friday. I'm going to make that my NCAA Tournament Game of the Year. Absolutely like this game, about as much as I can like a game in college basketball. Now, you're going to get that game online on the day of the game for $49. But if you call the office, I'm going to give you the game at half price, and I'm going to include 7 full days of NBA and the other college basketball that I like as well. Everything for $25. That includes the big game. So this is a good offer. Jump on it right now, and you don't have to wait until Friday to get the game. In fact, I recommend that you don't wait until Friday because you'll get a better number now than you will on the day of the game. And every half point matters in college basketball or any other sport for that matter. If you don't know that, then you're probably not winning money. There's a thing called value. So get the game of the year, tournament game of the year, $25, 1-866-896-1629 is the number to call. That's 1-866-896-1629. All right, let's go. Baylor and Wisconsin matching up. The Badgers about a 3-point favorite. The total is about 137. Obviously, both teams have gotten really hot at the right time. Wisconsin, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that Wisconsin's among the 16 teams remaining. Jim, I think it's a shock to a lot of people considering where they were at midseason that Baylor is still playing. But you can argue Baylor's playing the best basketball in the tournament right now. They've been outstanding.
Well, their head coach made a big adjustment a couple of games ago, about 10 games ago, I think it was, and they switched it out of the man-to-man, which I think they were playing a little bit lazy in the man-to-man, and they switched to a zone. Baylor has some length, and when you have long zones, that with athletes like they are, zones can be very difficult. Now, of course, Wisconsin likes to bomb away from outside. The old theory was you can bomb over a zone, but when you have this kind of length, it makes it more difficult. Baylor is playing about as good as anybody at this point. They've just annihilated the teams that they've played. Now, when you talk about Wisconsin, I was on Oregon, one of the few losses that I've had. I had Oregon, and that, was, of course, was a very difficult loss. The game was inside the number right up to the last couple seconds, and then I think there was that stupid penalty and foul shots, of course, at the end of the game can kill you when you have dogs. You know you can never have a bad beat in overtime if you bet favorites, right? You know that. It's only when you have the underdog because you've already won, and now you got to win again, and there's no upside to it. But that's what happened there. Wisconsin, very good team. Bo Ryan's club, I mean, this guy's a genius of a coach. He's been around a long time. So the coaching edge, I think it probably heads to the experienced guy with Wisconsin, and rightfully so. But when you look at them playing against a very difficult zone that was a very hot team right here, this is going to be a very tough matchup for either one of these clubs to walk away with. I think it's going to be extremely tight.
Yeah, I think so too, Jim. It looks like a great game. And it's interesting to note that these two teams have something in common, which was horrible midseason slumps where nobody could figure out what was going on. Baylor had the 8 out of 10 loss stretch. They looked dead. And the game that turned them around was a game where they were down most of the day. And believe me, I remember it well because I won a big play on this, and it was a lucky win. I had Kansas State. Again, I had Baylor against Kansas State. And I think Baylor won by 14 in double overtime. Was that game? That
yes.
Game that turned it was a big win for me. A very lucky win, obviously. But it was a bigger win for Baylor because it turned their season around. They followed that up and then won another overtime game the next time out. And it's been nonstop. They never looked back since. This team's got a ton of talent. Wisconsin also had a bad stretch. You know, they're talking about this team as a Final Four possibility early in the year, maybe a number 1 seed, and then they hit a roadblock and they lost 5 out of 6 games and really looked lousy in the process. It just goes to show you that don't judge by what's happening in the middle of the season what might happen at the end of the season. Both teams are in peak form right now. I think the Baylor zone is going to give Wisconsin some troubles. We know they can shoot the 3, so maybe they've got the zone busters, but I don't think they're going to get easy looks with the height that Baylor has. You just talked about that, Jim. At the same time, Wisconsin is just tough, gritty. They make you work for everything. The total in the game is 133, and my impulse here is to go with the under. I think this is a game going to be played in the 60s. Hope it doesn't get to overtime because that'll shoot the under out of the water if it does. But I believe this will be a patiently paced game as teams look for their opportunities against two tough defenses, and I'm going to go with the under. John, how about you?
You know, I originally wanted to look at this game as a high-scoring game, going over the total as an up-tempo game. However, the total came up a little bit too high for my liking. But the thing is, both these teams have very balanced scoring inside and out, which is going to help both offenses. If you do like to play overs, Wisconsin's on a 5-1 run over the total. They got the big guys with Decker and Kaminsky inside. They just hung 85 points on Oregon. Team doesn't play a lot of defense. Still, they shot 48%, 11 of 28 from long range. Different situation, though, against Baylor. Baylor also has fantastic inside and out scoring. They get Jefferson and Gathers up front. They get Cherry and Haslip in the backcourt. They scored 74 and 85 points in these two tournament games. Do wonder at times, though, about this Baylor defense and free throw shooting. They're last in the Big 12. I wonder when is that going to catch up with them, if it is at all. But still, you got a Badger team that's 7-1 ATS against the Big 12. They're 5-0 ATS in non-conference game, but Baylor does have the inside and outside game to hang with Wisconsin, and it's tough to go against a team, Dave, that's on a 12-2 straight up 11-3 ATS run. Small lean toward Baylor here.